It is right around 5:58 a.m. on Monday, May 13th, 2024. And once again, I have not gotten very much sleep this night, even though I did spend the entire night lying on my bed trying to rest, because there has been someone sitting in the bathroom of Unit 78, located directly behind this wall, smoking, once again, intense amounts of marijuana and cigar smoke that have been filling this entire corner and the area of my bathroom for the entire night. The smoke always like sticks in my throat and just makes my voice really raspy. I'm sensitive to any type of cigarette smoke, marijuana smoke, cigar smoke. It's something that non-smokers tend to be sensitive to because it's really unhealthy to have to breathe in. And at the same time, the psychopath also directly below in 76. So there's a psychopath in 78. There's also a violent thug who appears to be some type of a psychopath in 76. And he has been making repeated violent banging and slamming noises directly beneath my bed when I've done certain things on this bed throughout the night, but not others. The last violent banging noise was about 10-15 minutes ago when I was lying on my stomach, scratching my eczema while watching YouTube videos. My eczema is not anywhere weird, so I'm just like scratching basically the back of my neck. And that seems to set off the violent thug directly below in 76 every single time I do that. Also, I had to change my clothes earlier this night. And as soon as I did that, the psycho in 78 started using the same type of electronic assault device, remote capacity electronic assault device on me while I was changing out of my clothes and putting on new clothes, as she has been using on my person since 2017. The pathetic, uneducated, ignorant morons who watch my channel need to stop commenting about stuff that they know nothing about. And obviously, they know nothing about remote capacity electronic assault devices, which actually exist. And the psychopath in 78 is also a cyber criminal, according to her handlers at the Greenville group. Oleg Eliseyev, specifically, the psychopath is named Jasmine Irizarry. That's a fact. And Irizarry informed me herself on YouTube that she is an engineer who specializes in solving problems. And also, Mr. Eliseyev multiple times made allusions and comments about Irizarry's cybercrime abilities, and he was in awe of her ability to hack into anything, as he told me. Oh, she is so talented. She is so good. She can get into anything, when I said that she was hacking into all of my devices. So if Irizarry is a talented hacker specializing in surveillance, according to a former maintenance manager who called her their surveillance expert, she is also able to see what I do on my phones. And one of the things I was watching, 10 minutes, oh my God, she's doing this again. So I'm watching a video on YouTube called Overview of Stalking and Technology, Prosecution Strategies. Apparently, I'm not the only person on this planet experiencing surveillance-based and technology-based stalking, harassment, and harm. And these are some prosecution strategies for identifying and prosecuting perpetrators who use technology and surveillance in stalking and harassing their victims. I am one of those victims, verifiably. This is what I keep making videos about. The videos are not designed to prove anything, because you can't really prove anything with a video. A video can be doctored. These are anecdotal, narration-based videos that I put out on YouTube to raise awareness. This is not some type of legal proof. I post them for legal purposes because they corroborate emails that I send and documents that I gather about what I'm talking about on my videos. But these are narratives. So the pathetic morons, the idiots who make comments and who stalk my channel themselves because I don't respond to their hate stalking comments, and they keep making the hate stalking comments anyway, they're too stupid to discern the reasons for which I post these videos, and they think that I'm supposed to somehow prove something with them. Well, you can't use a video to prove anything. It's anecdotal. Any video is anecdotal unless there's, somebody getting shot in the video, right? But I'm not reporting shootings. So right now I'm watching this video, Overview of Stalking and Technology, Prosecution Strategies, and the psychopath in 78 is blowing intense amounts of marijuana smoke straight through this wall right here. The marijuana smoke is not coming from over there. It's not coming from over there. It's coming straight through this wall right here, because as I was standing at my sink about 10 minutes ago, listening to this video on stalking and electronics and surveillance, she started blowing intense amounts of marijuana right into my face as I was standing at that sink. That's been going on for years. She's been sitting in the bathroom of 78, getting disruptive, directly behind that wall and against the wall since 2013 when she was moved into Unit 78 by the Greenville group. And then shortly thereafter, I started having to report her disruptive, nonstop slamming and banging against the back of that wall, nonstop intense smoke and fumes that were filling this entire living space that never came from the hallway, because she's not in the hallway filling my unit from the doorway. Otherwise, the smoke would be most intense at the doorway and outside of my door in the hallway. It's coming from behind this wall. Greenville likes to gaslight what I say because obviously they're trying to cover their behind. And I've been informed that they're sponsoring her, that she is somehow getting sponsored to engage in constant surveillance-based harassment because they just want me to move out. So they're resorting to some dirty tactics when it comes to trying to get me out, not just repeatedly taking me to court for frivolous reasons and reasons that have really no legal basis and that are retaliatory and discriminatory, but they're also using the services of this psychopath, or they're harnessing her psychotic need to stalk other females, and they're using it to their advantage to, harass the shit out of me while I'm in this unit. And that's what I keep reporting. So right now, she is deliberately filling this corner right here, and this whole area with really intense, sickening, overpowering marijuana smoke right now. And she's also using this remote capacity electronic assault device whenever I start playing this video about the stalking. Oh, see, now the phone is... about the overview of stalking and technology and prosecution strategies. This seems to really bother her a lot. I was also just before this watching another video on stalking and technology, which she also started using her electronic assault device on me while I started watching that video. That's all been happening in the last 20 minutes. So, there's surveillance-based stalking and harassment that I keep reporting going on in this unit. And just a search on YouTube shows that I'm not the only person who's experiencing this. And the people in this building, the one in 76 directly below and the one in 78 directly next door, the one in 88 is also, using what he can see in this unit to masturbate against the wall of this unit when I come out of my bathroom after using the toilet, or when I come out of my bathroom after showering. He becomes extremely aggressive and starts making really aggressive repeated smacking noises against that wall. It almost always happens when I come out of my bathroom after using the toilet or using the shower. So you can do the math on that one. Why does a sex offender in 88 suddenly start violently masturbating against the wall, or smacking the wall as if he's masturbating as soon as I come out of my bathroom, start washing my hands at that sink or drying off with a towel at that sink after showering? Obviously, because he has knowledge of what I do in my bathroom. That is something that dozens of tenants of this building complex have bragged to me about over the last 8 years, starting in 2016. That's when they started getting really aggressive towards me. Charles Thomas, a sex offender who lives at 191 Green Street, who's made physical threats towards me in the past and who's been taken to court by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for issuing threats against me. He started bragging to me in 2016 that, making comments about the washcloths I was using in my shower and things like that. How does he know what washcloths I use and all that stuff, right? I mean, how does anybody know what I do in here? How does anybody know, for instance, what body parts I shave? Just 6 weeks ago, the violent thug directly below 76 came up to my door, confronted me in front of my door while I was trying to reach my door from coming from the common bathroom down the hall. He physically assaulted me at my door, shoved me when I tried to get back into this unit as he was standing in front of my door. And he was shouting at, oh my God, the psycho in 78 is using her electronic assault device right now. This is just insane. And it literally feels like you're being tased. So even though it's not a taser per se, it is something that is like a taser. It feels like a taser, and it's obviously remote capacity. So it emits frequencies that can go through walls, such as microwave frequency. Any type of radio frequency can go through walls. Any type of microwave frequency output can go through walls. It emits some type of electromagnetic frequency output in a concentrated stream that then delivers a harmful amount of radiation output towards you. These devices exist. My understanding is that their proper scientific term is directed energy weapons. And there, you can actually go to Home Depot and make your own. And that, multiple videos on YouTube have confirmed that you can make your own directed energy weapon just by getting certain types of materials at Home Depot and making your own. So the person who sits in 78 claims to be an engineer. The Greenville Group have informed me she is their surveillance expert. Oleg Aleseyev of the Greenville Group has informed me that she is a very talented, no, he said she is so talented she can hack into anything. Hacker, electronics, cybercrime person. And that, makes it very likely that she's also capable of making her own microwave death ray device, as YouTube likes to call directed energy weapons that use microwave frequency output. I would suggest if you have less than a PhD or less than a master's degree that you stop watching my videos, because you're too stupid to understand what I say in these videos. And you're letting your stupid show by making all kinds of moronic comments on my videos about how I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. You're just stupid. You're too stupid to understand what I say in these videos. So go jump off a cliff if you can't stop making these pathetically uneducated and uninformed moronic comments on my videos. Leave my channel alone. These are all male hate stalkers who can't leave my channel alone for some reason. Makes me think that maybe they're getting somehow sponsored to hate stalk my videos, right? So let's talk about stalking here. Okay, so I'm actually going to have to just call the Greenville Group right now because I'm getting a little bit sick from the remote tasering that right now is coming from the bathroom of 78. And that just started, as I said, about 20 minutes ago. And I started watching videos on YouTube about surveillance-based stalking and technology and what people can do, what victims can do to report these crimes to law enforcement. Obviously, the psychopath who sits in the bathroom of 78 and uses surveillance devices in this unit, Jasmine Irizarry, is also using some type of remote capacity electronic assault device. And every time I start playing one of these videos on stalking and on law enforcement, she literally zaps me with her electronic assault device. And she's been using this device on me for years. This is really physically painful right now. It literally feels like you're being tased. I'm kind of distracted. Now, where's my phone? Where's the phone icon? Where's the phone icon? Come on. Where's the phone icon? So law enforcement know about her. I mean, I've been reporting her psychotic behavior against the back of this wall right here for years. The detectives just said to get an anti-harassment order against her. And the Greenville Group have told me that they, that she's not a nice person who's done some bad things, but they're also sponsoring her. They're using her services to harass tenants that they're trying to get rid of. Obviously, this has been going on since 2013.
Our office hours are from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Our office is currently closed. If this is an emergency, please press 1. Otherwise, press 2 to leave a voicemail for the front office. After the tone, please leave a detailed message with your name and number so we may get back to you when we return.
Hi there. It's right around 6:05 a.m. on Monday, May 13th, 2024. I'm calling from Unit 89 to report some ongoing breaches of habitability currently occurring in my unit due to the aggressive, intrusive, and surveillance-based violence and aggression from the two violent thugs and psychopaths that you've chosen to place in the adjacent units to mine, directly below in 76, and the psychopath who likes to access the bathroom of her former unit, Unit 78. Or maybe you've moved that psychopath back into Unit 78. The former resident is also apparently the current resident. Her name is Jasmine Irizarry. You placed Jasmine Irizarry in Unit 78 in 2013. She verifiably resided in 2013 for at least 9 years, up through 2022, apparently. Then, according to Mr. Oleg Aleseyev, she was moved out of Unit 78 in 2022. But according to Mr. Aleseyev's response to my question as to whether or not Jasmine Irizarry continues to live in this building after she was moved out of Unit 78, he said yes, but maybe we'll move her to 191 Green Street across the street, which obviously he hasn't done because Ms. Irizarry continues to engage in the same exact psychotic, nonstop pattern of aggression, intrusive behavior, and harassment from behind the wall of my kitchen sink, as she has been doing for the last 10 years now, since 2013. And right now, Ms. Irizarry is burning and propagating intense amounts of marijuana smoke and cigar smoke that are filling my entire kitchen sink area and my bathroom from the bathroom of Unit 78. The smoke and the fumes do not come from the hallway. I've been over to the door of my unit that is at the hallway multiple times, and there are no smoke and fumes coming from the hallway. There's nobody standing outside of my door in the hallway smoking for hours on end. And right now, as I'm leaving this voicemail, Irizarry is intensifying her propagation of these intense and sickening smoke and fumes. She's obviously doing this to try to get attention because she has some psychotic stalking issues and has this desperate need to let people know that she's right behind that wall. At the same time, Irizarry has started using, once again, her remote capacity electronic assault device. Interestingly enough, as soon as I started watching videos on stalking and surveillance-based stalking on YouTube about 20 minutes ago, Irizarry apparently seemed to have a real problem with the videos that I happened to be watching on my phone, even though they were quiet, and she should have no knowledge of what I'm doing on my phone at this hour. But she started literally electronically zapping me through the wall with some type of remote capacity electronic assault device. These devices are technically called directed energy weapons, and they exist. It's a thing. You can actually buy them and you can actually make your own by going to Home Depot, apparently, and making your own directed energy weapon from watching YouTube videos. So this isn't science fiction. This is actually something that you can get at Home Depot with the proper materials. So Irizarry has been using this electronic assault device on me for years now, and it's only when I do things that she has a problem with and that she has knowledge of while I'm doing them in the privacy of my living space. At the same time, throughout this entire night, the violent thug directly below 76 has made violent pounding and banging noises repeatedly directly beneath my bed while I've been lying on my bed, doing certain things, but not others. As I keep reporting, this psycho thug seems to fixate on what I do when I'm lying on my bed. And when I lie on my bed with my, on my back, like with one of my legs bent, he starts making violent pounding noises. When I scratch my eczema on the back of my neck, he starts making violent pounding noises. And this has been going on up until just about 20 minutes ago. So the violent pounding finally stopped about 20 minutes ago. But all of this activity throughout this entire night, from Irizarry in 78 behind my kitchen sink and the violent thug directly below my bed in 76, has been preventing me from getting any rest this past night, even though I did spend the night lying on my bed trying to rest. I am recording this voicemail for legal purposes, and I will be following up with an email. This is a violation of the lease and ongoing health and safety issues that violate the clause of habitation in this unit that make it, that basically nullifies my obligation to pay rent for a unit that is not safe, that is not private, and in which the neighbors are so mentally disturbed that they're constantly getting violent, aggressive, and intrusive directly against the shared walls and the shared floor of my unit with theirs. If you have any questions, I can be reached at 617-459-0208, and I am recording this voicemail for legal purposes. Thank you. Yeah, another really long voicemail, but there's a lot going on. It's complicated, and that's the Greenville Group's fault. They choose to house violent, intrusive, psychotic criminals who are in the charge or in the care of the Massachusetts DPH and DMH systems, and they are placed in SROs, apparently in Unit 76 below, Unit 78 next door, because they are on the autism spectrum. Obviously, they are so obviously on the autism spectrum that it literally took the police officers who responded to my 911 call when the violent thug came up to my door 6 weeks ago. The responding police officers said, "We noticed there's something not right with that person. You should probably stay away from them." Well, I do, but they come up to my door and they don't stay away from me because they're on the spectrum and they have some obvious issues. So that's probably why that person is, instead of being in prison, is housed directly below this unit. and they have some type of legal confinement to this building, which is why they make violent pounding noises directly below my bed at all hours of the night. And sometimes when I'm lying on my bed in the middle of the afternoon, for instance, this past afternoon, and I start doing things like scratching my eczema or picking my nose, a violent thug in 76 becomes violent directly below my bed at 2 in the afternoon because he never goes anywhere. He can't. He's legally confined to his unit because he's on the autism spectrum. And even though he commits crimes and he obviously has some compulsive violence problems, he can't leave the building. Same thing with Irizarry in 78. There's also something not quite right about Irizarry. And I noticed that multiple times when having to cross paths with her as she was blocking access to the doorway of this building or, blocking the stairwell. I can't tell you how many times Irizarry blocked my access to the stairwell during the first few years that she lived in this building. She was always everywhere in the building whenever I would be there. So if I was going down the stairs, she would be going up the stairs. If I was going up the stairs, she'd be going down the stairs. She was always in the stairwell or in the entrance, but she never seemed to really leave the building. And she would get really weird and affect these weird, creepy facial expressions whenever I would cross paths with her. And then she would look at me and like laugh. Yeah, just really odd, disturbing behavior. And, anybody who has like two brain cells could tell that there's something really wrong with her. So I figured that one out pretty quickly as well, that she's criminally insane. And that's why she's stuck to this building and won't leave people alone. And that's who the Greenville group has chosen to place in the adjacent units to mine. So that's their decision. That is not mine. And I'm simply reporting behavior and intrusive, aggressive actions on the part of these two psychos right now. Let's not even start with the violent masturbator in 88 who likes to repeatedly violently masturbate against the wall. He's a whole circus of dysfunction and psychosis onto himself, but he's been quiet for the last few hours. So I'm not talking about him right now. I'm talking about the psychos below in 76 and 78. Greenville keeps claiming that this building here at 5 Union Ave is for people who have jobs and who work. Well, not these nut jobs. And I have always had to work to pay my rent in this building, aside from after the pandemic, when I lost my job and was relying on rental assistance to pay my rent. I have always paid my rent out of pocket. And right now I am being held to that standard in spite of the fact that I am now legally blind, and finding work as a legally blind person is a lot more challenging than it was a few years ago before I became legally blind. But I'm still being held to the standard of having to pay my rent entirely out of pocket. I'm not receiving any assistance whatsoever. But these psychos obviously are too dysfunctional to do anything other than violently slam things against the walls and blow smoke and fumes continuously in the bathroom of their unit, which is a tiny, windowless, unventilated bathroom, smoking and burning and propagating foul-smelling stuff for hours on end just to try to get my attention, just to try to show me that they're just a few feet away. These are complete mentally disturbed psychos who should not be in this building. Because this building is not a prison and it is not a mental hospital and it is not zoned for that kind of housing. So I think the Greenville group could actually be in violation of some zoning laws right now by renting to large numbers of offenders who are criminally insane and too mentally disturbed to even be legally allowed to leave the building, evidently.